Hello guys and welcome to the channel. Well, at long last I've finally got to I've managed to get this device that was given to me by my friend. Check out Ray Ray's collection and subscribe. Yeah, he gave me this piece of equipment which allowed me to create different light moods on my figures, and I got it home and I put it on and it wasn't working, so I was a bit gutted. I thought I must be doing something wrong, and I was mentioning all this during my reviews of things like Jango Fett and Kingpin and all that. But I finally worked it out, and I'm going to have a crack at it and see what it's like. And this is your neutral light mode, and in front of you you've got my Forever Wave, Val Kilmer Batman, Chris O'Donnell, Robin, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face, nearly said Riddler, and Jimmy Carrey as Riddler. And at the back you've got my favourite builder figure, which is that bat, and I love it. So I'm going to have various figures in front of camera. I'm going to create some different light effects on it and see what that looks like. It will give me some ideas for the future. This is more really, I suppose, about me wanting to improve what I'm doing with you guys, which is waffling about figures and posing them out and the different light settings. So we'll crack on with this, and I'll click on the first one. That's slightly different. I'm beginning to see a little bit of a difference. It's hard to work it out when you're looking at it like this. I'd have to play it back and see what it looks like. Now that's a kind of blue there, according to what I'm seeing on the rim of the light. And that's purple, I think. That's more purple. That's red. Not too bad. If I see anything that looks interesting, I'll try and get some close-ups. The bat's eyes look good. His mouth's closed, his wings, you can articulate them as well at different angles and turn his head. Let's try and add a bit of light in. Yeah, that's a bit redder. I do like the way Batman looks on that though, the shininess and that colour red. That's an orangey colour, sort of a rainbowy colour, and we're back to neutral. So what I'll do is I'll pause it and bring out the next lot. Let's go close up. Whoops, the camera tilted. Can't ruin the shot. There you go. So now I've got these guys out in front of me, and very comic book in their appearance. And the last lot you saw obviously were movie figures, and they tended to be darker in colours, but this is what I call loud and what I like to say proud, because I like this look. And that's a neutral colour there being bathed in at the moment. Peter Parker Spider-Man in the middle, Spider-Gwen on the left, and Miles Morales Spider-Man on the right. So let's try these lights then and see what that looks like. That's kind of yellowy, greeny, greener still, bluey, purpley, pinky, that's red. That doesn't seem bad when you look at it. Not bad, not bad. That's darker still. Let's come in. Right then, okay. Let's go for the other colour. That's lightening up. That's a rainbowy. And we're back to neutral. So yeah, not bad those. Gives you some ideas. Very grateful to my mate for this. Definitely gives you some ideas. I collect mainly McFarlane figures, and Marvel Legends, but and Black Series Star Wars. I haven't got any today to show you, but I might go there, see what it's like, and then probably put it on the channel. But let's move on to the Let's Not. So I've got these guys out now. Well, Miles Morales has been out here already, but I've got my Kingpin, and as you can see, the Spot, the nemesis of Miles Morales. And I've got this version, because at first I thought he was white, and then I realised I was right, but he also turns black towards the end of the movie because he becomes more powerful. So maybe I've got the rarer of the figure. And there's Miles again. And then we've got Kingpin, which I've reviewed. Really like him. Enjoy posing him. And we'll be getting my classic Daredevil at the end of June, excuse me. Just clear my throat. Yeah, getting classic Daredevil, the one I've read in the comics. He has a creature-like feel to him, I think. And I'd love to pose him out with Kingpin. But let's start changing out the lights. Let's have a go. Here's the first one. And yep, that's greeny, darker green, bluey, purpley, darker purple. Not sure about that. That's red. It always seems to be the reds, I think, with a comic book look. Coming close on Kingpin. And do one with Spot. Over to Miles Morales. Yeah, the red colours seem to generate more colours on the figures, if you know what I'm waffling about. Let's go to the next one. That's redder still. Getting lighter, though that's an orange. That's a rainbowy. And we're back to white. So that's the end of that little line. And we'll bring out some more. So I've got these guys back. Well, I've not really officially done anything with Vision, who's on the right, but Ghost Rider certainly. And I'm coming close. That's his latest pose in my display, and I will also show him with his head sculpt. So I'll put the light sequence on with these two, and then do it again with the head sculpt of Ghost Rider on, who I really like as well. I could have got the coloured up versions, but this is the one from WandaVision, and I just like the simplicity of it. So let's pull it out and start the light show. If I can get the button pressed, there you go. That's a bluey colour, and that seems to kick a little bit by the look of it. I think the lighter colours don't work, I don't know why. I'm not a scientist, but these sort of weird colours, the purplies, seem to be okay. Let's try another one. That's a red. That's a deep red. Yeah, not bad. If I was to review Ghost Rider again, but with the motorcycle, which I hope to get, the Harley Davidson version, I would do it with this red, which is a deep red. Let's try another. That's back to neutral. So what I'll do is I'll pause it again, coming a bit close, and bring out the next lot. Gosh, I really forgot about this. I really didn't forget about this. I said I was going to do his head sculpt, and I was so into it, I was thinking of the next one. Sorry about that, just slightly moved the camera, but I'll come in close. And there he is. I love that head sculpt. I pose that head sculpt more than the actual skeleton look. I just love it. And there's Vision on that side, slightly changed in his pose. But let's get these ones out of the way and do the lighting bit. Let's find where the switch is first. Hopefully this is it. Yeah, it is. Not bad, that's a yellow wash. Deeper yellow, greeny, darker green. That looks quite weird, but it seems to work. Let's try it on him. Yeah, it looks like kind of translucent. Yeah, let's go on next with the next one. Purpley, pinky, red, very red. Yeah, those reds on the figure, the flame effects work well. He seems a little bit, there looks like a bit more depth on the muscles with that colour, and you can see that blue in his forehead. So yeah, that's getting lighter. That's a rainbowy colour, and we're on neutral again. So let's bring out the others. So a few days ago you would have seen these guys, Mr. Freeze and Scarecrow, Arkham Scarecrow, and I'm pretty sure that's Arkham Mr. Freeze, because as I said the other day, I was at my mate's house and I saw him in the game and he looked very much like that. So let's do the lights. I think as it gets darker you see more there. That's quite good. That one makes him pop. And Scarecrow's not too bad. But it's Mr. Freeze there, especially in the dome section where the head is. Quite like that. Okay, let's go on. That's a deeper red. Let's get that one in. Like that one too. Gives it a mood. I think with me now, I'm getting the gist of this. I'm going to review other figures. The one I'm looking forward to getting soon is Troika Batman. He reminds me of Arkham Batman, mainly in the ears, because his ears are very long. And I do like the Arkham Batmans in the Todd McFarlane range. And the Troika Batman I'm getting is a Todd McFarlane figure. But I like the fact that he's mainly just pure black with a bit of colour on his chest, which is the bat symbol, and the yellow bat utility belt that he has. So I'm going to look forward to filming him, and I'll probably film him with these guys. So let's change the colour there. That's orangey. That's not bad. And we're back to neutral, so let's bring in the next lot. So here we got the second trio. Or was Mr. Freeze and Scarecrow were the duo. This is the trio. Tim Drake, like that. And Joker, of course, with that mad face. And there's Batgirl or Batwoman, however you want to call her. So let's get the lights on these guys and see what that's like. There's one. Makes their faces look kind of different, especially in the Joker. But he's such a good looking figure, you could imagine shooting him in any light. And that's my favourite version of Batgirl. I like the moulded cape. I like the fact it's just mainly blue with dashes of yellow. I know a lot of the guys or girls out there like other versions, but that's my favourite version. So let's do the lights. And that's neutral. So we can move on from these guys. So far so good. I like what I'm seeing. So I couldn't do this without having my favourite Todd McFarlane's Superman figure. Christopher Reeve Superman. I love that head sculpt. That's his kind of, I think, more serious head sculpt, but that's the pose he's in my display. And I was going to get down Kingdom Come Superman. He's all bathed in red and got kind of energy effects off him, but this will do for now because he is my favourite, and I'll be interested to see what that green crystal looks like under different lighting that he's holding. So let's start off with the first. That's very light. That's orangey. That's not bad. That's not bad. Oh, I like that. Can't see much of the green crystal changing. But it is good. It looks good. I'm going to go through that sequence again. That looks good there. I can see the cloak is alternating in colour. Right then. You could get carried away doing this. Okay, let's bring it back to neutral and bring on the next one. Well, I thought these two might be interesting. Very bright colours. And could have brought out the other Iron Man because he does suit this figure very well, Hulkbuster. But my latest acquisition, obviously, on the flight stand, my first movie Aquaman. I'm after a War Machine or Iron Patriot, a movie version to go with that figure, so I can do a review on them. Let's come in close. On Hulkbuster there, great bargain at $29.99. Same with him, he was $14.99, and I like the flight pose I've got him in. So we can start the light show and see what they look like in the different colours. Seems very the same at the moment. That's different. That's not too bad. The reds seem to make the figures pop a bit because that's a red there. That's a deeper red. Let's come in close. Yeah, it does look okay. Alright, okay, let's try another one. Oh, that's neutral again. Not as brilliant as I thought it might be, but it was interesting. This is all new for me because when I got this thing I thought of lots of things I could do, but this is a basic lighting review, and that will serve me in the future when I get other figures or bring old figures back, what sort of mood of light I can put on them. But certainly I'm glad I did it at night time because I did a dummy run during the day when there was daylight hours and the thing doesn't look as vibrant, so I'm glad I'm doing this quite late at night. So let's bring out the next bunch. So I'll come back to Batman, and I'll come in close, and I do love that trio together. Batman there, Hush Batman, and Damian Wayne. I've raved a lot about that figure, said good things, so I won't dwell on it. And Lieutenant James Gordon, who is my Commissioner Gordon. And before we start, they did release another Hush version of Batman just like this, only the grey on that figure is a bit lighter, and the major difference is it has a cloth wide cape. And it's good, you can use it to good effect, but I'm a big fan of the moulded look, and it's those sort of creases down there that create a nice dynamic on that cloak and set the figure off. And I always pose them out well, so I prefer this one. But if you want to get both, knock yourself out. So let's start the light show. there's a difference there, especially in Batman. Quite like that glow. Same with Damien. Yeah. Carry on. I guess that was the only one back there. Let's go to that one again. Was it that one? Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, I do like that colour. That's the blue colour. Right then, let's get back to neutral. So we'll move on. Nearly coming to the end. So I had to get a Predator out. Excuse me. And this was the Predator I bought at Christmas as a present to myself. I always do that anyway. I always pick some figure I like, and it was his turn. Alpha Predator, also known as the First Hunter. And you can see him there with his unusual mask. But I'm going to show him in a different coloured light with his mask off. So this is the first part of this little review on this figure. I was tempted to bring out Feral Predator, but I mean, he's my latest addition. So I'm going to stick with him for now. But I'm sure they'd all look good, because if you see those films, the Predator films, they appear at different scenes in different settings, and the lighting on their clothing and helmet sets them off a treat. So let's try the first one. Not much difference. The eyes seem to get yellower on that colour. Oh, that's different. His skin's kind of translucent anyway, so that kind of colour, the blue, seems to make it pop. Okay. That's a reddy colour. Okay, that's neutral. I'm going to take that mask off and see what he looks like with the colours on his face. So there he is. I was going to try and get him to hold the mask, and he can do it. I've done it before, but it was getting fiddly and time was getting on. Sorry about the wobbly camera. I'm in an awkward position. So yeah, that's him. And I think this version of him might look better in the different lighting. Let's see. That's different. Yeah, I love the way his skin looks on camera there, and his hair. And that's on the blue wash. Let's try another one. I think that one was the best one. That's why I've gone back to it. So I'm going to get a close up. I do like that. Yeah, and I've actually did a review on him when I broke his lance, and I've managed to hook the lances onto his horns at the back. You can see the tops of them. But overall, he's great to pose, and he looks great in the display. I might come back to this and pick some other Predators. So let's go to the neutral light and move on to my last set of figures. So these are the last on camera tonight, and when I shine my black light on them, their eyes glow, and I never thought they did that. My belief is that you could only do that with the throned Spawn figure that I missed out on. So you're going to come in close just for a quick one before we put the different light effects on, and you'll see Raven there, my blue variant Spawn, and Ninja Spawn. all awesome figures for me. But let's do the lights then. Here's the first one. It's light yellow, deeper yellow, light green, darker green. That's the blue again. The blue seems to get some figures. So let's come in on Spawn. You can see a bit of a glow in those eyes. That's not bad. And with Raven Spawn, let's go to Ninja Spawn. A little bit. It's come out. I don't think it's going to be as good as this, the next one after. So let's go with the colour. That's kind of the beginnings of a red. Deeper red, or pink should I say, pink. That's red. And that's deep red. Let's try close-ups. Not a bad effect. I'd have to think about it if I was reviewing these figures again with this light. This is orangey, sort of like rainbowy. We're back to neutral. So I'm going to find a favourite colour. I think the suit, which I think is kind of this colour. And say thank you to you if you viewed in. And hope you enjoy it. And other thank you has to go out to my mate. Check out Ray Ray's collection and subscribed, because he gave me this bit of equipment which allowed me to change out the mood through the lighting while I'm waffling away and reviewing figures, and I've got some good ideas now. And I'm hoping, as I said, or may have not said, I'm getting the Troika Batman. And I'd like to get him out in front of some sort of nice lighting and then review him with a figure. So on that note, I'll just come in close. I like to get close-ups. Wobbly close-ups, but close-ups nonetheless. Yeah, I love him. Ninja Warrior, Spawn and Raven. Who is my favourite figure of the three. So on that mood lighting, which is a blue, let's just get a nice angle shot there. And I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.